Now, it is our pleasure to have Senator Jon Tester on this morning. Senator, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks, Jane. And by the way, great job transitioning from weather to interview. That's good.
I'm trying to beat my time every single time I run in from the weather patio. I am almost as fast as Matt, but not quite there yet. Now,
good.
Before we get into the issues, and there's a lot to talk about when it comes to this Senate race, right off the top, I wanted to address the Democratic National Convention.
Yeah.
You were one of notable Democrats that were absent during that. Was there a reason why you weren't at the DNC?
There was a couple of reasons.
All
Number
right.
one, we were in the middle of harvest, and I'm not going to take a week off in the middle of harvest to go anywhere. And the second one is I had to take a day and a half off to go to a Pearl Jam concert that they were doing in Missoula. And so we went to that. As you well know, maybe you don't actually, the bass player from Missoula graduated from the same high school in Big Sandy High about 5 years after I did.
Wow.
And they put on a concert that was really pretty cool in Missoula, and a lot of folks there. So yeah, those are the reasons why I don't usually shut the combine down for much. I did for a day and a half for Pearl Jam, but other than that, we were cutting away and got the harvest in the bin, which was a good thing.
Sure, and you know, yourself and some other senators as well have not yet endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris for president. Are you planning on doing that, or?
No, I'm not. The reason is because I want this race to be about Montana. I don't want it to be about national Democrats or who's running for president. That's for somebody else to talk about. I want to talk about Montana, about public lands, about health care, about a woman's right to choose, about why this is the greatest state and the greatest country that's ever existed. And if we can stay on those kind of issues, people will understand why I'm the most, quite frankly, most bipartisan, most effective senator in the United States Senate, is because we work to make sure Montana remains in its position, which I believe is the greatest state in the union.
And you mentioned it, let's get into the issues now. Well, let's talk about that first home buyer tax credit that you bring up and you've brought up in the past. Now, tell me a little bit about the logistics that would go into that.
Well, first of all, Congress has got to pass it. We put it out there, and I think we will be able to get something done because housing is a big issue all over the country, particularly here, you know that. But what this will do is give folks a $15,000 tax credit for first-time home buyers when they decide to buy a home that they can use as a down payment. Is it the silver bullet to put everybody in a house? No, absolutely not. But I think it's a step in the right direction to help particularly young people get into their first home. And I think that's really important for workforce, it's for small business, to make sure that we can keep our economy going in the state of Montana.
And, you know, going back to the race, looking at real clear polling numbers, currently you're polling about 7 points behind candidate Tim Sheehy. Do you have any plan for this final sprint in the race? I mean, mail-in ballots go out today. Election day is swiftly approaching. So what's your plan and what's your team's plan?
So look, I've been in close races before. Every one of them have been close. I've been in this position in 2018 and 2012 and 2006. I was even in a more difficult position. This is about going out and letting people understand what I've done, what I intend to do, and pushing back on a lot of the untruths, I'll call them. But truth is lies out there that are on TV that are just flat not true about me. But that's what happens in campaigns anymore. The first thing to go is the truth. So we've got to go out and we've got to talk to people, remind them what I've done, remind them that we have done some really good things, not only for veterans, but for infrastructure, making sure that we maintain our position as a leading economic power in the world and leading military power in the world. And that's what we'll be talking about moving forward. Look, you know, the Senate is a place where seniority matters, and I'm up to about number 20 in seniority. I chair the Veterans Affairs Committee. I chair the Defense Committee on Appropriations. Those two committees can do a lot of good things for veterans and our military in this country and keep this country safe from against people like China and Russia and North Korea and Iran that want to see us disappear. And so we just got to remind people that we're out there working hard for Montana, making sure that we keep Montana the place that it is, whether it's in public lands, health care, or even a woman's right to choose.
And final thing before I let you go, I know you're a busy man, but what would be your priorities if you are reelected into the Senate?
Oh, wow. Well, we still have a lot of things to do in the veteran space, particularly in mental health. We still have a lot of things to do to make sure that we maintain our position as a world's military leader. But I'm going to tell you, AI is coming down the pipe in a big, big way, and making sure that we get our sideboards around AI so that it does good things. It has potential to do a lot of good things, but it has the potential to do a lot of bad things. Congress needs to act, because if we get ahead of the curve, if AI gets ahead of the curve, it could do a lot of bad things. And you know, when it comes to watermarking AI and those kind of things, we're going to be working hard to make sure that Congress steps up and does the right thing.
All right, Senator Jon Tester, always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you
bet, absolutely. Thank you, Jane.
All right, we're going to take a short break here on Montana This Morning. When we come back, I'm going to have another look at that weather for you.